Today I want to do a quick video highlighting an issue that I come across quite often. A lot of people, including designers, don't actually differentiate between a prototype and a UI handoff document. And I want to explain that in a little bit more detail today. So I like to use architecture as a more extreme example to illustrate this. So you imagine an architect drawing a new building. They'll create these beautiful renders and 3D models to illustrate their vision to their clients and customers. Once they've completed those, they're not the actual end product that they'll give to the construction engineers to start putting together the building. So what they'll do is they'll create engineering drawings or plan view drawings with really detailed and specific information, like the dimension between wall to wall, the distance from door to the furniture, compass on the page so they know which direction the property is facing. And this is very similar to what we should be delivering as digital product designers. So a lot of the times what I find is a designer will create a really nice prototype and it will look really fancy with some cool interaction and animation, but then it gets handed over to developers and the elements on the page just aren't positioned properly for a developer to properly translate this into the end product. This then causes a lot of communication issues within the team and builds up on both design and development debts, which is not good. So I've got two examples here in Figma to show you to illustrate this even further. So you can see on the page, I've got one set of designs called prototype and the other is called handoff drawings. On the surface, they look identical. And if I play the prototype, you can see I've done a nice little animation. The age order ones floats in from the right and then all the login details flows in from the left. But if I zoom in here and I was to inspect the prototype UI, you can see the header is not very specific on its dimensions. So is it filling 4 columns? It's gone over a little bit. So as a developer, I'm looking at this thinking, should I increase it to 5? But then the content underneath, you can see it's filling up to 6 columns. So there's a bit of discrepancy in the information that you're providing to the developers. And then likewise on the username email, it's kind of 2 columns. And let's say if I was to increase that to 2 columns as a developer, and then a UX copywriter comes in and provides some additional information, let's say username/email you used when you signed up. So the content just ends up getting pushed down and it's not really what you were trying to illustrate within your design. Now, if we compare this to the handoff UI, everything's really specific. Everything is set as fill container. They all fill the whole 6 columns. And if there's anything that I don't want to fill 6 columns, it's very specifically positioned and it's got dimensions that makes sense. And as a designer, you need to be able to identify the 2 different types of UI you need to deliver in different situations. If I put them here side by side, what I want you to think about is how do they structure from a building block perspective. So if I was to turn the text into blocks, the details on the prototype UI, it's just not detailed enough for me as a developer to make use of. Whereas if you compare that to the handoff UI, you want to be making sure everything is structured, everything is measured accurately and positioned with intent. This is just a short video I wanted to do before I go even deeper into any prototyping ideas or handoff ideas. So when I create the next tutorial, I can identify, look, this is a prototype method that you can use, but it's not something that you should be using as a final design to hand off to developers versus more technical UI handoff drawings that are more focused on end delivery. Now, if you haven't seen my video about auto layout, you can watch that by clicking on the video here. And if you do know about auto layout and you want to take it to the next level, you can watch this video here where I introduce some advanced concepts about auto layout.